Okay, we are back with circulation. So, living things need to transport stuff around the place. So essentially, whether you're a plant, small multicellular sponge or something in the sea, you do need to move stuff about. You need to get good stuff into your cells, and you need to get the waste away. So, of course, once you become big and complex like a mammal, like us, you end up with a transportation system or a circulation system. And so many simple organisms, like these flatworms and this cnidarian, I think called a hydra, have essentially what's called an open circulation system. So there's this big open space inside the organism where stuff sloshes about. And that's okay if you're only a few 100,000 or a million cells. Once you get into sort of trillions of cells like us, that becomes an issue. Cnidarians and flatworms, planaria, tend to have only one opening to the body, so that their mouth and anus are the same hole. Terrible bad breath. But stuff comes in and goes out the same space and sloshes about inside. We, on the other hand, have what's called a closed circulatory system. And though these can be 2-chambered, 3-chambered, or even 4-chambered. Now, ours, of course, has 4 chambers, and we'll do a dissection soon and look inside a lamb's heart and see how those 4 chambers work together to move blood around the body. But the whole point, of course, here is that things have to come and go from that blood system somehow, and they have to enter by diffusion, osmosis and things, and they get pumped around by the body, by the heart. So the heart's responsible for making sure stuff gets to where it needs to go. Here's our mammalian system in diagram. Much more complex, isn't it? Remember our little game we started with, the bolts and nuts, and made our own little Frankenstein, and how we had to try and fit this heart thing here into everything else. So there's the lungs in that sense on the outside. So the air, the blood comes in from the body to this side here. This is called the right atria. Drops into this right ventricle, and from there it goes out to the 2 lungs. And then gas exchange takes place, as we've talked about, and the oxygenated blood, the blood with oxygen in it, comes back to the heart, to this side here, to the left atria, falls into that left ventricle, and then gets pumped out to the body. The first organ it deals with is the heart. It feeds itself first, of course, and then loss of blood heads for your head, because your brain's really important, and the rest of the body gets fed as well. And back it comes. So it goes round and round and round the whole time. Arteries and veins, so arteries are in red essentially, veins are in blue. These networks here we call capillaries. So the blood gets really, really thinned out to get as close as it can to all the cells that need its work. Because it needs to function, it needs to get to every cell and get what every cell needs to it, and take away the waste from every cell. So it's quite a complex system. Plants also need to move stuff, but they don't have a heart. So plants rely on water bringing, xylem, it's these xylem tubes, they're like massively long straws, bringing water and dissolved salts and things from the soil all the way up the body of the plant. So that could be, in a case of a mountain ash, 100 meters, plus the root trip, so it could be 130, 140 meters of journey, and the sun's energy allows it to get pulled up the plant. But they also have things called phloem, and the phloem allows for 2-way movement. So things can come up these tubes here, these xylem tubes. They can also move around the phloem tubes, which are a little bit different. So here we have the xylem, 1-way flow only. It's actually a dead cell. If they break, they're finished. Big thick wall, so breaking doesn't happen too often. And everything just travels straight up, being pulled up by the sun. Whereas these phloem are living tissue and have all the other cell stuff you'd find in a cell. And these sieve plates joining each cell together. So things can move up or down that phloem vessel. So really important for plants to move stuff around too. That's probably enough. We don't need to go into those details for today. That's a quick, short video, that one, wasn't it?